and they don't really like me. Cause I can fuck your bitch and fuck your mom and auntie.
Alright, watch this Young Money video. I'm gonna go take a piss and get some food. Be back.
In the 2000s, Cash Money Records was the most famous record label in the world. And that's all thanks to Lil Wayne, who was the biggest rapper on the planet. By the year 2005, he was named president of Cash Money and founded Young Money Entertainment as an imprint of Cash Money.
President of Cash Money is wonderful, but I'm trying to make that title glorious. That's my goal. Yeah, sign new talent, sign old talent. I mean, we talking to some people that y'all know of, talking to some people y'all don't know of, you know what I mean? I think Cash Money is gonna be the revival company, you know what I mean? Like, for all the people's careers who you thought that probably never did what they're supposed to do, I want Cash Money to do what it can for them. I'm the president of my own label also, which is Young Money Entertainment, which is just as important as Cash Money for me, because regardless of what I do for Cash Money, I'm gonna make sure it gets done for Young Money.
Wayne started scouting new talent, and rappers Currency and Boo were the
Listen here,
first
Playboy.
artists signed to the imprint.
You want that record deal, you gonna have to show me how bad you want it.
Stuff is on my label, Currency.
You're gonna have to bend over.
The album supposedly drops a week before Thanksgiving. He got the single out there, we just finished shooting the video, Where the Cash.
You know, we all in the same age bracket. We all from the same city. All done been through a lot of the same things. We went to the same school. You know what I'm saying? We had one time, we was at the same school, you know what I'm saying? And he's an artist himself. So he know, you know what I'm saying, the things he would want.
Basically, yeah, I mean, he was fucking his artist in his ass.
He don't want
In the
his
ass.
artist to have to go through none of that,
You're
you know
like,
what I'm saying?
My
actually.
artist is tripping about something I've never tripped about. I'm in school for psychology. You know what I mean? So everybody know I go to University of Houston for psychology, so I'm on the honor road too. You know what I mean? Come get your therapy over here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna let you do what you wanna do. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna make sure it's right. If I'm making your album for you, then that's just another Lil Wayne album. I mean, no, I let them go off and do your thing.
Man, fuck them for
Young
it,
Money
dude.
is
I believe it.
where,
I remember hearing about that. I
you know,
believe
the
it
new
too.
talent comes in. The new guys, the guys that's gonna one day take over Young Money. And I no longer have to worry about it, just collect the big check.
Later in the year, Young Money released its first mixtape titled Young Money, The Mixtape Volume 1, a 2-disc tape with 28 tracks. But in 2007, after 2 mixtapes and being featured on Lil Wayne's Dedication 2 mixtape and other features with Wayne, Currency announced on his MySpace page that he had left the label in a post that read, "Sorry y'all,
Thank God he got the fuck up out of there.
I officially declare my independence."
Thank God he got the fuck up out of there.
2007. I am not Young Money. Regardless of what you may hear in the streets, read on the web, or hear on the radio, I am not Young Money. If that loses me friends or fans, that's just something I will live with, but I will get my just due in this rap game before it's all said and done. Don't look for any beef records from me, cause that ain't my thing. Just look for me at the top, end quote. Currency never went into detail, and his departure still remains a mystery. But one can assume that it's because of the same allegations about Birdman made by past label members, since Currency has always praised Wayne since then and continued to collaborate with him in the future.
Me and Wayne we never had a falling out. Me and Wayne never fall out. It never was like, you know, you're out of Young Money, or it was never like.
No, it was Birdman, that's why he left.
Money. It was like, yo, like, I understand this is cool. But like clearly, like you know me, like I wanted to do this. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So the only way you could do what you want to do is like in your own house. Like your parents would tell you that, like not in my house, you know what I'm saying? So I had to build my own house so I could do what I want, you know? We never saw each other once I started doing my own thing for us to have any bad words. And then unfortunately, you know, he went away to do that time. And of course, I didn't see him then, but I was on the road in Miami. I had a show in Miami, and him and Mac Man came through. So maybe like 2 or 3 months after I got off tour, they were in Chicago at the same time that I was there. So I went to one of the homie shows, and I was like, I'm gonna send you this joint tomorrow. And I sent it to him, I got the verse right back. And that's when we did the record for the Gangsta Girls and shit. So like after that, you know, the door opened up. Well, we always working now, so it's all good. You know, that's how it was. I always knew, you know, that's how it was gonna be. We never had no issues, you know. Yo, this is
By 2008, Wayne had already stepped down as president of Cash Money and CEO of Young Money due to his uber successful music career. But that didn't mean he wasn't still signing new talent. Young Money! By this time, he had found so many young artists to sign, and by the end of 2009, the label had grown an enormous roster.
I think he
of talent
signed too many
consisting
niggas.
of Tyga, Jay Mills, Gutta Gutta,
He signed
the
too
label's
many
president,
niggas.
Matt Main, Lil Chucky, Lil Twist, T Streets, Chanel, Jay Sean, and two artists by the name of Drake and Nicki Minaj.
Because while you are an artist yourself, it is impossible for you to manage all of them fucking artists when you're still an artist yourself. It is just impossible. And that's why Tyga, Nicki, and Drake was the only three that got the more attention.
Who had already established their own generous following, respectively.
Your boy T Streets.
It's your boy 2G Gutter.
What up? It's your boy Lil Twist.
Mac man, stupid Mac Noop, all in one holla at me.
I go by the name of Drake, Jimmy Valentino, Drizzy Drake Rogers.
My name is Nicki Minaj, aka Nicki Lewinsky.
Everybody on some street shit. Hey, my name is Drake.
It's your homeboy Chucky Kellyo.
It's Harlem's own, your boy Jay Mills, man, Young Money.
I met Chucky on a video set, and he was a kid at that age. His mom and his dad was with him, and I loved the way they presented him. They was with him. They was right there. They knew everything he was doing. They made sure, and it was like you see parents like that with their kids behind sports.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To see them like that behind rap and his talent, I was like, he has no other home but here, and that's what they want.
Like, I get that he was trying to save them and change their life because they was all fucked up, but he signed way too much. He signed way too many niggas.
Brown and Neo, and she's a professional dancer. She was dancing with Neo on this tour. I had to shoot a video, and I needed a dancer, and I needed one dancer, and she was the lucky person. And from that video set, she told me I sing, and I write, and she told me some of the stuff that she had written. And she let me hear some of her stuff, and she is amazing. We all know Nicki Minaj. And last but not least, Drake.
The hip-hop collective released the 3 Billboard charting singles, Every Girl, Bedrock, and Roger That in 2009, off their first compilation studio album, Young Money. And they frequently made cameos in each other's music videos. But it was Drake who gave the label their first real success when his highly anticipated debut album, Thank Me Later, dropped in summer 2010. It debuted at #1 in the United States with 447,000 copies sold in its first week and spawned 4 Billboard hits. Then Nicki Minaj followed it up with her own groundbreaking success as a female rapper.
It would have been fine if Wayne was just doing managing, but again, being an artist too, the hottest fucking rap artist right now, and you trying to
the second highest sales debut for a female rapper since Lauryn Hill, and eventually reached its peak at #1 with the help of many successful hits that include Super Bass, Moment for Life, Your Love, and Check It Out. Both Nicki and Drake accumulated many accolades and carried the label while Wayne reported to prison. But what about the rest of the artists on the label? Were they making music or just making music video cameos? Singer Chanel was one of the few singers signed to Young Money.
Chanel got hold.
She's a singer-songwriter, background dancer, choreographer, and sister of D Woods from Danity Kane. Chanel was born and raised in Anaheim, California, and had been previously signed to Usher and Neo's record label.
I think Chanel would have been alright if she was managed better.
With a Cash Money imprint because she was confident that the label would focus on her music instead of making her write for other artists, like she had been doing previously. She told MTV, Wayne was kinda like, you do this, keep your music for yourself. You have the talent, I see what you do. You can come over here with Young Money and do what you do over here. Which was the best situation I can be in. My music is a little bit different. It's not R&B, it's not pop, it's not rock, it's not alternative. It's a fusion of everything. A lot of labels don't let you do that, but at Young Money, they let you do that.
And this is Chanel. Miss Chanel. She wrote Prom Queen. She's an artist on the label also, and she's on every shit. But she wrote Prom Queen. What's your name so they can hear you talk?
Hey, I'm Chanel.
What he said.
Yeah, well, ditto, kiddo. I have an artist named Chanel.
Then they tried to replace Chanel with Chanel West Coast.
She's better than
that was just a huge L. I'm not gonna lie.
Anything. She's actually behind you. And she goes right there. Yeah, right there. That's my Grammy. Right there. Here comes the Grammy. The Grammy.
Throughout 2009, Chanel was featured on over a dozen songs by her label mates, including Prom Queen by Lil Wayne and Handstand by Nicki Minaj, and also contributed to the label's compilation album that year. In August, she released a mixtape titled A Taste of Chanel, aka SNL, and another in March 2010 titled Shut Up and Listen. But these projects came and went because they were not pushed by the label.
At all.
Chanel finally grew
I didn't even know she
frustrated
dropped
after
albums.
years of releasing single
That's how you know they fucked up. I didn't even know she dropped
mixtapes
albums.
without any support. She told Vlad TV that she felt the label was prioritizing certain artists over her.
Cause there's too many niggas.
The fan base for Young Money is really young. And sometimes they don't really grab onto all that I have to give. So I have to be able to give them a little bit at a time. But then you do have a big community of the Young Money audience that gets it. So it's just, I as an artist have to shuffle through my work and find out, you know, how to give it to them. I mean, they just think I'm just amazing and creative, and you know, everybody's kind of like their own boss with underneath the boss, so they know
These other
I'm gonna
niggas,
put it together when I need to put it together.
they was literally just filler. Drake, Nicki, Tyga, and Wayne was the main characters. The other niggas was filler. That's all it was, just filler.
And give it to them when it's right, because I've really been working hard for the last year, on being on and off the road, not really being able to sit in the studio and focus. But that's why I put out all these bits, just to give people a taste of the first idea that I felt like me and the people can relate to. It's just, I want to be respected, you want to be respected, here's some music that just screams out respect me. Listen to this, I'm going to go and create. The guys think everything is amazing so far, so.
She released 4 more mixtapes with the label, but they all failed to receive any buzz or commercial
Chanel had
success,
potential.
and that was the last we heard from Chanel. On the other hand, we had Jay Sean, another singer at Young Money who landed a US #1 pop hit. He's a British South Asian singer-songwriter who made his
Sean had
musical
potential
debut
too.
in the early 2000s. He signed with Young Money in late 2008. And by the next summer, his American debut single, Down, featuring Lil Wayne, topped Billboard's Hot 100.
I don't think he
first
should
solo
ever been
artist
signed to
of
Young
South
Money, though.
Asian origin, and the first UK urban
Jay Sean
pop
did
to
not
top
make
the
sense
Hot
on Young
100
Money.
in America. His top 10 hit, Do You Remember, followed later that year as well. Both singles were certified multi-platinum, but when it came to the 2 albums he released through the label, they failed commercially. And by 2014, he had left the label, citing lack of promotion and attention to his projects.
At the moment, a lot of people are talking about
Yes,
it
they wanted to
through
cross over.
other artists recently
Doing
coming
too
out.
much.
Yeah. Say they have had issues.
They was doing
What was
too
your
fucking
personal
much.
What was your situation?
My personal situation was too.
This nigga was not supposed to be on no Young Money, yo.
Number one was the fact that there was just a constant delay and lack of attention and promotion and marketing when it came to my music. You know what I mean? And it got to the point where I think that ended up happening for pretty much all the artists on the label. Hence the reason why Tyga wants to leave, Busta left, Mystical left. You know what I mean? A lot of people are unfortunately leaving because of that. So
do you think when you went to Cash Money, like, because it was like, okay, Jay Sean signed, they paid attention to you straight away. You see what I'm trying to say? And then you came out, the album, it was sounded amazing, Nicki Minaj featuring, all this stuff happening. And then it's just like, boom, I told you.
And remember, Nicki Minaj wasn't who she is back then, was she?
Very true.
Neither was Drake.
Very, very true.
So is it kind? Do you feel like they kind of stole the spotlight?
But I can't be mad at them because they are killing the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's down to their own artistry too, though, because Drake runs his own business.
Yeah.
You can only respect that.
Jay filed a lawsuit against Cash Money for unpaid royalties, and in 2016, a judge ordered the label to pay him $1.14 million. But that
We got
definitely
Nicki and
would
Drake.
not be the last of Young Money's
You don't give a
problems.
fuck about you. You're not dropping shit.
Lil Twist was one of
If
the
you
most
drop it, we
visible
not promoting
artists at
it.
Young
That's on
Money
you.
At some point, he was often seen hanging out with Wayne and the crew and making music video cameos. When he was 10 years old,
Lil
he
Twist
released
got
a
done
local
dirty, too.
hit in his hometown of Dallas, Texas, called the Texas Twist.
They was trying to make him the next Lil Wayne, but it just was not.
At the
It
age
just
of 12,
wasn't.
he opened
it
up for
just
Wayne
wasn't-
at a concert in Texas, and Wayne's
just wasn't
manager,
clicking.
Cortez Bryan, flew him to Atlanta to see how they can help develop him as an artist. In 2008, Twist signed a deal with Young Money and released 2 mixtapes in 2009 during their golden era. And in the same year, he released his debut single titled The Leak featuring Wayne that reached number 77 on the R&B chart. And he was even featured in XXL's 2011 freshman class
Damn, he
issue.
damn sure was.
Twist somehow became
Forgot
affiliated
about that
with
shit.
Justin Bieber's crew, and this helped him gain even more popularity. And they even collaborated on tracks together. He also did songs with Nicki Minaj and Miley Cyrus and released a string of singles and mixtapes over the course of several years. But none of this was enough exposure to push his music to mainstream. In 2014, Twist slammed his management team and Young Money in a series of tweets that read, "I swear I gotta have the worst management team in the history of management teams. Like, wow, this shit is crazy. All I wanna do is drop music. From Don't Get It Twisted to Bad Decisions. I have so much fucking material recorded, but I can't even get an answer from my management. The dates that I give y'all don't just come out of my ass.
They was really
From
not
album
fucking with
dates
them
to
at all,
mixtape
yo. This
dates,
is
I'm being
crazy.
told by management. But when that day comes, a
They
young
was not
nigga
fucking
can't
with
even get a
these niggas
fucking answer.
at
And to Team
all.
Twist, it looks like Twizzy ain't keeping his word or even working, to say the least. I put my trust wholeheartedly into my management. It takes a little more than just dropping content on social media for my fan base. It takes a lot of shit that management has to do when you're on a major label scale to get it out there the way you want or need it to be." End quote.
I remember when I first got signed to Young Money. I was at the Amelia video shoot, and that's when Drake came. That's when we met Drake. Drake came to the set with a portfolio with headshots from Degrassi. He was well
checking
put
for the
together from
music,
the
though.
very beginning. And I remember Wayne.
Somebody
looking at
out there
that
was trying to check
portfolio.
for this shit, but they couldn't because they wasn't promoting it.
Just handed it back to Ted and said, "Sign him."
Nobody
So I
couldn't
knew he
check
was
for their shit
coming on
even if
board,
they wanted to.
but now he's on board, and it seems like everything is evolving around Drake. And I'm like, man, I was here first. Why the f is Drake about to come off the label first? I would take
That's
it upon
crazy as hell.
myself to go and make diss songs about Drake and email them to them. I would diss Drake and Tez, and I would send them the song in the email because I was so mad that I knew he was coming before me. So
That's crazy.
Were you nervous in the beginning?
a little bit, because in the very beginning, Wayne didn't like me like that. Like Tez brought me to Young Money. Tez is who found me, but Tez is up there with Wayne that's running everything at that time. And Wayne had just found Chucky at the time, so everybody would be talking about Twist, and Chucky was the one that was really just popping in the label already in Young Money. So I kind of felt a little pressure from Chucky of knowing that I had to come hard or do a little bit more to try to surpass everybody else's likes in Chuck. I had to stand out, you know.
Why has
Niggas felt like they had to compete against each other on the same label.
You know what I'm saying?
That is crazy. Niggas really had to compete for attention on the same fucking label.
You get signed, boom, project. Why do you think that didn't happen that way?
It was a gift and a curse with Lil Twist and Young Money, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. Let's make that clear. I became very, very family oriented, more than business, with me and Wayne's relationship. So at that time, if you can remember, my first single, Little Secret, featuring Bow Wow. And then I dropped the second single. And then I dropped Love Affair. So I was prepping for Don't Get It Twisted, the album. But at that time, I was on Xanax. I used to really, really, really love Xanax. And I would do different things and sip syrup and do all these wild things as a young guy, young rock star. And I felt it was cool at one point, and I felt I needed to do that. I'm doing it with my boss, with my brother, my idol. That's what I need to do. But at a certain point in time, Wayne was like, Twist, it's time to, you know what I'm saying? It's time to slow down on those pills and shit. And he didn't feel that I slowed down when he told me to. So he put a halt
TDE
on
was a
my
little better,
debut
but
album,
TDE had some
just
bullshit going on with their artists too.
past the business. It was just, Lil Wayne, we gonna teach Lil Bro since he don't want to listen to me. We stopping the album. He stopped the album, probably fucking forgot that he stopped the album. Now a year passed, and
That's why Kendrick got the
anticipation
fuck
for
up
that
out of
is
there.
just slowly, still, Lil Twist, I still had a crazy buzz, but it was slowly just passing over. And then my little bro Justin
Only
called,
gonna
Lil
push and
Bieber
promote
called, and I ended up moving to
them
LA.
the most money.
And
That's true,
it was just
but
a discouraging thing.
they can't bring in no fucking money if you don't push and promote them. it's like a lose-lose. Like they can't bring in money if you don't fucking promote them.
Where I moved from Miami after all of that happened, just being disappointed, and ended up moving to LA. And just
Songs with Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus, that's kind of a, especially around that time,
the guy that I
kind of a,
I'm sure
kind of a
it's
big
true
deal.
that his lack of success was due to poor management, but his music was never really well received by the public to begin with. And it also didn't help that he was in and out of jail for charges ranging from DUI, assault, and theft. Tyga was another teenage protege of Wayne's and signed to the label in 2008 after spending his teen years releasing music independently.
Tyga went through some bullshit too at the tail end of his
around Southern California
Young Money career.
and had
They was
formed
starting to
his
fuck
own
him over.
record label called GED Inc. His independent song Diamond Life
It was not
gained
all good in the
popularity
paradise
after
for
being
Tyga.
featured in the video games Need for Speed Undercover and Madden NFL 2009.
And Tyga was actually
along with the
bringing in hits
2009
and
movie
money.
Fighting. He had also been previously affiliated with Travis McCoy of Gym Class Heroes and was offered a record deal with his label. Tyga made his Young Money debut on their hit song Bedrock in 2009, and his affiliation with Wayne opened him up to a wider audience. He released 4 mixtapes that year, and his success carried over into 2010 and 2011 with a feature on Chris Brown's Deuces and his viral solo hit Rack City. His first studio album through the label Careless World, Rise of the Last King, did fairly well on Billboard with over 60,000 copies sold in his first week. But by the next album,
Tyga was doing
had
extremely
become
well.
dissatisfied with his time at the label and said he was being held
Tyga was doing
hostage.
extremely
In October
well.
2014, he announced his departure from Young Money, tweeting, "Gold album been done. My label holding me hostage so I can't release nothing. Might just leak it for fans, then let them make money off it. The music industry is a devil's playground. I'm a man of God. Last Kings is what I built, and the only thing I rep. Never bite the hand that feeds you, but never starve for the hand that doesn't." Then Young Money's president, Mac Main, replied, "Don't forget about putting limes in coconuts. What you rep didn't make you or build you." Tyga also revealed in an interview with Vibe magazine that he wasn't getting along with his label mates Nicki or Drake. Around the time of Tyga's departure, Wayne was experiencing his own issues with Cash Money and Birdman. Just 2 months later in December, Wayne tweeted, "To all my fans, I want you to know
I forgot
my
about that
album-"
too. Like, to the parent label of Young Money, Cash Money, nigga Wayne going through his own fucking problems. Like, he can't even help the rest of the label mates that he signed. He literally going through his own fucking problems with Cash Money, and they own Young Money. It was just a bad fucking mix, yo. It really was.
Won't and hasn't been released because Baby and Cash Money Records refused to
It was just a
release it.
bad
2 days
fucking
later,
mix.
during a performance, Wayne tells the audience he's in a bad situation with the head label.
Free Weezy album coming soon. Carter 5 coming soon. Cash Money.
His manager Cortez Bryant even took to Instagram to talk about how Wayne's loyalty to Cash Money is the reason the label even succeeded for so long. In January 2015, Wayne filed a $51 million lawsuit against them, claiming Birdman violated the terms of his contract by holding the Carter 5 album hostage and sought to end his contract with Cash Money. He also filed paperwork to prevent Birdman's involvement with his artists. Leaving the label would allow Wayne to take his Young Money artists with him and properly oversee their music.
Say, the Birdman. And Cash Money. Bullshit right now. These niggas got me in bars right now. They don't want to see me make good music. I don't know what the is going on.
He continued to diss both Birdman and the label until things turned violent and nearly deadly. An indictment stemming from the incident claims that Birdman and Young Thug conspired together to take Lil Wayne out.
Yo, I forgot
but
about
Birdman
that.
denied these claims.
Yo, I forgot about that fucking arc, yo. Thug and Wayne beef and he shot up. Yo, I forgot about that arc.
The perpetrator directly named him as the person responsible. The two eventually made up, and Wayne was now directing his lawsuit at Universal Music Group to reclaim portion of the profits made from Tyga, Drake, and Nicki's music. But the two fell out again, and he alleged that Birdman was stealing more than his share of Young Money's $100 million advance. And the judge sided with Wayne. David Banner also filed a suit against Young Money Entertainment, saying he was owed money for work
Birdman
on
was
Wayne's
really
records,
pushing
The Carter
Young
3
Thug
and
like
We Are
to be the
Young,
next Wayne.
and was awarded more than $160,000. Finally, in 2018, both Wayne and Birdman reached a settlement. But a few months later, Tyga sued both Cash Money and Young Money for $10 million over unpaid royalties. But Birdman said it's Tyga who actually owes Cash Money for advances he received when he signed his deal and never paid it back. Tyga voluntarily dropped the case less than a year later. There was another lawsuit brought against the label by Aspire Music Group, alleging missing profits and copyright royalties stemming from Drake's first 6 solo albums, which was reportedly worth tens of millions of dollars.
So, what is your situation with Young Money? Are you still an artist there, or are you going on your own path now?
Nah, I got my clearance. We good.
You got your clearance.
Had to handle business. You know what I'm saying? It's business. No feelings can get caught up into nothing or what's going on. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's grown men in here.
Yeah.
You feel me? If we could say, okay, plot up, let's get some money. We could plot up and be like, okay, look, okay, we see this now working, boom, boom, bam. You know, I wish you the best. Yeah. We handle business.
It seemed like Juvenile and Currency was the first niggas to see, like, yeah, no, this shit ain't right. I'ma just go ahead and do it.
Everybody. But, you know, it's Libra gang.
Being on Young Money could...
There's more, too. That's the crazy part.
A lot more. But it could be perceived to be a gift and a curse. But, like, why do you think it didn't work out for everybody? And by everybody, I mean the majority of the artists on the label.
I tell people this all the time. It never works out for everybody. Once you understand that, it's like, and I'm looking at this picture of Charles Barkley right now, and it's taking me somewhere, right? I want to explain to people something. There was a lot of great people on the Sixers when Barkley came. A lot of great people on the Lakers when Kobe came. I always tell people.
Shaq was there.
I always tell people, I know what it feels like to be Eddie Jones. I know what it feels like to be Eddie Jones. Not saying that I'm not nice or I'm not great.
Eddie Jones is nice.
But I know what it was like to be great and somebody comes around and they are undeniable. You can go in the studio and make the dopest shit you want. Aubrey is undeniable. I remember the first time Wayne let me hear Successful.
The label has faced countless financial lawsuits, but I think you guys get the point that Cash Money has had a lengthy history.
So basically, even if you do bring him a hit, right? So it's like, all right, what you got? I can do a backflip. That's cool, but we got Drake. Oh. Yeah, get the fuck out of my office.
Birdman seems to be responsible.
Get the fuck out of my office.
The main lineup of Young Money artists has slowly disappeared into obscurity, with the exception of Nicki, Drake, and Tyga. Because, as I mentioned earlier, they already came with their own following before joining the label, and were already on track to becoming mega superstars. Then the label started signing artists who were already established, like Austin Mahone, DJ Khaled, and Christina Milian. But the label wasn't able to provide any growth for their careers.
Crazy as hell. Just signing
Birdman
motherfuckers
already
left
had
and
a
right.
long history of
Let's
shady
not forget
business
them
deals.
signing
But it
Chanel
got to the
fucking
point
West
where
Coast.
he was even willing to exploit his so-called
Chanel
son
fucking
that
West
made
Coast.
Cash Money the label it is. Wayne set out to be a trusted confidant to young budding artists. But the Young Money roster grew too quickly overnight that it became too hard to give every single artist the proper attention they needed.
play
And most
guitar,
of
make
them
my
never
own
got
beats.
to release an
I
album
can
under
rap
the
good.
imprint. Just a few
I
years
write
ago,
some of the
Lil Wayne
artist shit
reportedly
already on
sold
the
his
label.
entire masters
Yeah, but that's
that
cool. We
includes
got
Young
Drake,
Money's
though.
entire catalog to Universal Music Group for $100 million.
But is your name Drake, though?
And that amount seems
No?
so low
Get the
to
fuck
me,
out.
since it includes his, Nicki, and Drake's music. Let me know your
Hey,
thoughts
nigga,
in the
go
comments
sweep the
below.
floor up in the kitchen,
Like this
nigga.
video and
Talking
subscribe
about some,
to
you got some
BFTV
fucking music.
for more content.
Nobody trying to hear that shit. Nigga, go do my fucking laundry, nigga. You're not putting out no fucking album. Is you stupid? Must have lost your fucking mind talking about something I got an album. Nigga, we got Drake. What are you
Criminals
talking
getting
about?
stopped by police can often use